Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward, y'all. Today, I want to have a lackadaisical conversation with you today. This is a community conversation. Well, everything here is a community conversation, but today I want to speak to the state of affairs in the world. You know, within certain communities, I can't speak to other communities outside of the African American community because that's the community that I align to most closely. That is the community that I interact with most often. But I think the conversation that I'm willing to have with you today transcends the African American community. It covers the community of the world population, regardless to what tribe or ethnic group you align to. It is a human issue. And, you know, I think a lot that's going on, I look around the world. I look at my community. I look on social media. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't see the news media that often. But in interacting with people in real life and just things that I've experienced in my life that God has allowed me to be exposed to from a first person perspective, not some ear hustling. You know, I saw somebody's post and I read into it, and what resonated with me from what they posted was this, not that, from a real life perspective, from my own walk, God sending me on this monumental journey through Oz, literally, and in my walk through Oz, and because there's so many challenges that I face when I come forth with this content, I can't trust that this app will see me through, which is really in alignment to the whole concept of the conversation that I'm discussing with you today. In my own life, I have seen firsthand how things are in the world. It's as if the world shifted from one perception that I had of it before all of these monumental things began to happen in my life. And then, voila, the world has shifted to another perspective. And if I wasn't so grounded in my knowing of God, if I hadn't had a phenomenal walk already with God, it would have changed me. It would have made me resentful, and I would have stayed in that. I was already going through enough stuff, like most people in the world, you come in and out of stuff. Have you ever been really good to somebody, and then when you are in need, they act like you've never done anything for them? And you've blessed them in a way that they never would have gotten blessed by anyone else? Have you ever gone out on a limb for somebody that you knew and you loved, and you did it out of the kindness of your heart, not for any ulterior motive, just because it was the right thing to do, just because you were able to do it and you wanted to see them in the fullness of what giving them or gifting them that thing would allow them to see and feel? Only for those people to years later or however long later get to a place where you may be in need and they not even think of you. These are subtle ways of betrayal. Betrayal is a thing that happens that you never see coming. It always comes from the vessel that you least expected. And that's what makes it sting so much. It's not that you needed it and you were banking on it, and sometimes you are, but really it's the fact that you would never have done it to them. You were leading in another spirit with your interaction with those people. Yet it won't just be the betrayals of life. It will be the culmination of the betrayals of life and but it would mostly be the foundation that causes the betrayals, the spirit that conjures such an action to be justified within another. How does someone do another in such a disintegrous way? That spirit. Yet, it doesn't have to be a betrayal that it's not limited to a betrayal, this issue that we have amongst the world. I'm sure any one of you that are watching this podcast can align to this philosophy that I'm presenting to you. You have been in a situation where you can relate to this. Either you are someone that has done such things, or you're someone that has experienced such things happening to you. So it's not something that's out of the ordinary. It's a foundational issue that we're suffering with in the world today. It's not to say that betrayals never happened. It's not to say that disintegrous behavior or behavior patterns were never pervasive before this cycle began. No, they were. But to balance them, it seems as if we had something just as heavy, just as hefty in character to balance the chaos, the betrayals, the disintegrous behavior. There were people in the family that were the glue to the family, that those that exhibited such behavior would be kept at bay by, that would be kept in check by. The big mamas, the grandmothers, the grandbams, the aunties, the parents would hold weight in the family as matriarchs and patriarchs of the family, keeping chaos within that particular universe, that family dynamic. But what has happened in the world that I've seen this, is that family dynamic has shifted. And we no longer have, a lot of times, those patriarchs or matriarchs commanding the ship. That aspect of the family dynamic for many of us has been broken. And now we have many people in the world that never grew up with such guidance and direction. There's been a foundational break. And we see this all across the planet, especially, I can't say the planet, but within America. Especially within certain communities of people. This foundational break that allows now that which could never become pervasive and cause such instability within culture to be completely pervasive, to be a lot of times the majority. Depends on what vertical you're aligning to. It's the strongest vibratory frequency. I'm telling you, God has led me in a way that I can't help but bring these things to light. I have seen in my own life, this is a fact, that we are living in a culture right now where there are people that have foundational breaks issues with their foundation. I wrote some notes here to keep me on track because I'll go all over the place. Issues with the foundation to their structure. They look outward into the world and they see all of these projections of people that look like they have it together. And they say, darn, I really want to be that. And that's an integrous thing to do, is to say, I want to be better than whatever it is that I am now. I want to strive for something more. But if you don't have the foundation that will allow you to spring forth in truth, how do you ever get to better? It goes back to what scripture says about the man that builds his house upon rock and the man that builds his house upon sand. If you don't know the difference, if no one that came before you said, no, you don't build your house on that. You don't put everything that you really hold dear on this. This is not lasting. And this is why you don't do it, because there'll come a junction in your life where the rain is going to come and the winds are going to pick up and it's going to test this foundation, and you will get to a place where you have built everything and put everything on that, and you've represented yourself to the world as, here I am, and look at this monumental house that I built, meaning a monumental kingdom. Even if it's a miniature kingdom, it's mine and I built it here. Yet you didn't know that you should not build it on sand. No one ever told you. You didn't have a role model to come before you and tell you that, because you were just looking at the outward projection and fantasizing in your mind what it'd be like to have that. And you had the guts to go out and grab it and get it. But no wisdom. You're lacking the wisdom that comes from knowing what method to utilize to get it. Now you're an Esau. Mighty hunter. Formidable. Can do it. Can and will. Yet, you're looking at the Nimrods, the other mighty hunters, and you saying, I got everything that they have. I can do everything that he does. And you slay the Nimrods. You slay the giants. Only to find out that in slaying the giants, there was no power in that. There's no power in that. If anything, that's going to cause you more problems, friend. You slaying a giant is going to put you on the map. Then there's going to be other giants that are going to come looking for you. And that magic coat that you thought you were going to steal from Nimrod, that was going to solve all your problems, you got it. But it doesn't serve you. You can't get it to do for you what it did for Nimrod, making you a paper tiger. You look like Nimrod. You look like a mighty hunter, but you're not it. Because you've missed the vital aspect of what really made Nimrod great. It was the Holy Spirit. You never thought of that because no one ever told you. You never ran it by anyone. You concocted it all by yourself and you based it all on projection. There are many in this world that have inherited issues. Many of us inherit issues. Whether you're born into a family of people that made bad decisions, and now you are a result of the you are living in the result of the bad decisions that your parents made. If you come from a family that have made bad decisions, we're hot off of the heels of the crack era. I know I'm 52. Anybody within my age range can remember life before the crack era and life after. I was probably 12, 11 when the crack era popped off. I distinctly remember life before it, and I remember life after it. And I've said this before. I truly believe that within certain communities, the crack era changed the foundation of the family structure. It was this era that was the biggest shift in, I know, my community from a foundational level. Before the crack era, if you didn't have money, you could go to your neighbor's house and get a cup of sugar, get a cup of milk. Friend, in the crack era, they was hiding bread in the closet, hiding sugar, hiding the kids' toys. It was scandalous. It was completely off the chain. Nothing going on right now can mirror it. It was completely different in the way that people were out here doing things for it. People giving away their children, people leaving their children. I'm just being honest. And it is my idea, my thinking, that for certain communities, this was a foundational break. This issue. And even if you didn't have a parent that was on crack or a family member that was on crack that directly affected your life, you had family members that were sent off to prison for lifetimes because of it. It did more harm for the community than good, and we speak of it like it was the best thing going. Like it was our heyday. But it created such chaos in the community, chaos that we have not rebounded from. There was richness and glory in the community. There was pride in the community, in the family. When we got together on holidays and things of that nature, it was a different dynamic. Crack came and put a whole new twist on it. It turned it into shame for some families. Just complete shame. And this is what I mean by that. This is just one avenue of having a foundational break. There are other avenues in which a foundational break can happen within a culture of people. But this one avenue I'm going to use as an example because everybody can relate to it. This foundational break would be a situation that people would get born into this world during this era. You had crack babies. You had people out here mating with one another because they had money and you think he's going to be able to help you out. And he's not on crack. You're not on crack, but he's selling crack and you're a nice looking lady. And now you have a family with him. And then he gets shipped off to prison forever. And you out here not able to make it the same way because he's gone or because you're on crack and you're out here selling your body and you're having babies to get a county check knowing that you're going to use it all on crack. Let's keep it a buck. This is exactly what was going on and worse. It was terrible. And you have children regardless, born into this world. And these children grow and they see themselves amongst the world, and then they have children. And whether it's the children that see themselves amongst the world, that have children that see themselves amongst the world, they're all people in this realm. And they all look to make their mark in the world. But they're coming forth from a foundational issue. They don't know the proper way to approach things. They don't know how to go about life in an integral way to make proper decisions for themselves. They don't have the advantage of having guidance and someone that loves them and nurtures them and cares about where they are and who they're with and when they'll be back and what they're doing. They don't have someone in the world that has gone out and had profound experiences within different verticals that they can come back and speak to their children of, preparing them to go in those directions or even further, giving them the advantage. So they look on in the media, whether TV or whatever the media dynamic, paper, print, whatever, crystal, a screen. And they see people and they say, I want to be like that. I want to do it just like that. I want to better my situation. And they become an Esau. They use the projection as a motivation. And they figure it out as they go. Yeah. So that when they get to a place of what they consider rest, or when they've gotten to a place of success, where all of their actions have accumulated one atop another, and it has led them to a place of success or what they consider success. Are they happy with what they have, or are they fearful? Are you standing in the fact that you are capable through knowledge, through spiritual alignment, to weather whatever comes within that space? Or are you an Esau, strong-arming your way through, forcing a situation by will? Yet when the winds pick up and the waters began to grow and swell, does your house stand? Does your kingdom stand, friend? Have you built it on something? Or have you just inherited issues that you were born into? Hands that you were dealt, that we all are dealt. Nobody is better than anybody. Even those that come from strong avenues of support and those that don't. Everybody is dealt fluctuating hands. Nobody's dealt a great hand, friend. Yet, do you see yourself capable of aligning to something greater so that you can navigate and make the most of your hand? That's the part. Instead of doing it by the sweat of your brow, which is a curse, do you align through that of your heart, which you think is weak, but really it's your superpower? You've been born in a community or in a world that says this thing is weak for you to align to your heart, for you to follow your heart. Oh, you're a nerd, or you're a weirdo, or you're soft, or you're this. But it's the most courageous thing you can do in the world, friend. The easy thing to do is follow everybody else. There's nothing difficult about that. There's a ton of roadmaps for that. If you end up in any of the prisons, you've got a whole bunch of people there that you know, or that knows some people you know, in those avenues that everybody is trending on to befriend you. But do you have friends in the university? Do you have friends in those corporate environments? Or are you going to be the first one to trend over there? Do you have friends in these business entrepreneurial circles? Are you going amongst the nations representing your tribe? Are you going amongst the Japanese, the Lebanese, the Russian, the African, the Middle Eastern? And being a positive role model for that which you represent? Without anyone giving you a heads up as to how to do it? Making a statement for both yourself and your culture? So that when people hear of your culture, they say, oh, such and such. And then want to welcome others into their circle based on their interaction with you. Friend. Or are you out here inheriting issues that parents have birthed you into out of their own mistakes or others, and you feel like you've got to do disintegrous stuff just to level up from the issues that were compounded upon you at birth by way of somebody else and their bad decisions? That's what's popping off. And now you feel like you've got to do these quick, disintegrous things to give you the advantage that you feel like you should have had automatically, but you were not granted them because you were born into a home of people that made bad decisions. And of which you are watching subconsciously and taking mental note of. And that in your tomorrow, you will, if no one intervenes in your life and gives you direction, will mimic. You will become just like those people. When you get in a situation and your back is against the wall, you'll do it like your mom did it. Because that's all you saw. That's who you were sitting up talking with. That's who you know the best. Because your dad wasn't around. It was you and your mom. And now you're taking upon the characteristics of your mother. You're reliving her fears. You're doing what she did or does when she feels intimidated and insecure and jealous. You're responding to people that have things that you actually want in the way that your mom would have responded because she felt inadequate. She rebuked them and acted as if she was not in support of them, but she really was admiring them, but too immature and insecure within herself to actually show it. And now here you are doing the same thing. I'm here to tell you, we are in a time right now where all of the training wheels are off. All of those systems that the world put in place to prep us for a time like this are done. There is no prep anymore. It is lights, camera, action. Skedaddle. What you got? You gonna grab the mic and get busy and stand on a firm rock and show them what you got? Or are you gonna perpetrate and act like you're out here showing them what you got, and then in the background you're scheming? Only you think nobody knows that. You out here fooling you. We are in a world where there are less and less hustles every day. I know y'all don't like it when I say there's no more hustles. The hustles are over. I mean, it depends on what you call a hustle. I'm just talking about me. A hustle was when I could get with my cousins and them and money was low and, we could figure it out. They're still there, but they're really delegated for the young group. My age group is out of, kind of graduated from it, or should be. Technology has gotten so advanced. Friend, there's nothing that you could really do and go unnoticed. Come on. It's lights, camera, action. And God is saying, in this season, I've opened a door. It's a small door, but it's a door. And you can take it or you can leave it. Just like God opened the door for Pharaoh when Moses came up to Pharaoh and said, these children God wants us to take these children 3 days to the wilderness to pray to God. Can we have permission to do so? Pharaoh didn't deserve to be asked. But God knew he would say no. He said, humble yourself before Pharaoh and ask him to take my children 3 days to the wilderness to show me regard. And Pharaoh said no. And God said, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. God has a door open for everybody in this season. You can continue on with the disintegrity that don't do nothing for you, friend. It doesn't let you sleep at night. It doesn't make you feel good. You always got to watch over your shoulder and your back. You always got to backbite people. You always got to act all kind of weird with people because you're insecure. It's heavy. It's tiring. And God says, you can leave that alone. I've allowed you to go through that long enough for you to get tired of that. I know you are tired of that, friend. I know you are, friend. God has put a door in front of the witches and said, look, I've shown you the limits and the strengths of what you can do in spirit. I've shown you. Now you can keep going with that, or you can do what your spirit tells you to do. Because I know you're tired, friend. Friend, if nobody is tired, a witch is tired. It takes a lot of energy to be a witch. And there's really no power in it. You're only powerful in that circle amongst those disintegrous spirits that you can command within that circle. You're only powerful at that level. You cannot go above that level with your power. It deactivates. You cannot step into anything outside of that unrighteousness. When I say a witch, I'm speaking to unrighteousness. I know many of you think witches are just people that know how to maneuver within the spiritual realm. I don't consider that a witch. A witch is someone that does unrighteousness to me. Okay? That's just me. But that game does not work with everybody. And God has shown many people that, including myself. I'm not speaking from anyone or anything that I have not found in my own life as truthful. I don't speak hypotheticals, y'all. At least I try not to. I speak things that I know. I'm a knower. If a witch was powerful, I would be a witch. If a witch was the person that you go to get protection and to get things done so that you can live a prosperous and abundant and peaceful and righteous life, I would be a witch. But that's not what it is. A witch is someone that you go to when you don't feel worthy to go before God. A witch is someone you go to when you feel like your prayer request cannot be done by God. That God won't honor your prayer request. And you want it so bad out of will, jealousy, envy, anger, fear, all those low-level energies. You want it so bad that you'll go and you'll get it done by anybody. That's what a witch does. So she's not powerful. She's powerful amongst the unrighteous. Yet God is powerful amongst the righteous and the unrighteous and all points in between. Yeah. All of the role models of the house did monumental things because they sprang forth from solid foundations. All of them. Look at Joseph. Loved. Knew who he was. Had a deep sense of self-worth. Deep sense of being somebody. Moses. Loved. Adored by his mother. Pharaoh's daughter. Brought up in the kingdom. And both of these people were exposed. David, even though he wasn't his dad's favorite, he loved himself. He saw himself worthy. And God would lead him on a journey of exposure. He will be exposed to truths of life. Joseph, the same way, will be led on a journey of exposure, going all throughout these different places and interacting at certain levels, high levels, because he would need that level of exposure for what God had in store for him. Moses the same way. Exposure, led all throughout heightened spaces, because he would need levels of exposure to do what God would have destined for him to do. Exposure is huge. Yet the most exposure that you will need, you will definitely need worldly exposure. You will need exposure in certain circles. But you will most importantly need the exposure of God in your life. You've got to have the exposure to God, that one-on-one cadence, and you searching for God. You seeing that I can't get this guidance from anywhere else. I have a foundational issue. I wasn't born with a strong foundation of family. I've got to have a foundation. And what other foundation can I trust if I cannot trust my own family to be my foundation? I can trust God. Jesus gives us the roadmap as to how to do this. He says, don't get all caught up in all of the commandments. You're overthinking it. All you need to do is love God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. Love God. Trust God with all of it. Everything you got. Cross-reference it with God. Interact with God consciously in your life. Seek him and you will find him. Allow this to be your go-to. And in doing so, it will direct your paths. It will become the rock in which you build your house upon. This is the rock in which you build your house upon. This is the rock in which your kingdom stands. And no weapon in hell, no storm, no amount of rain, no amount of shaking of this physical earth can break it, can sink it. And he said also, to do unto others as you will have them do unto you. No more will you feel the need to undermine someone to get somewhere in this life. You don't need to be an Esau anymore because you're using the sweat of your brow. And you need to save face in a tight situation because you don't have anything stronger to align to outside of your will. Your alignment to God will stop you from doing that disintegrous thing, and it will redirect you to doing the righteous thing that will get you the win will appear. Instead of you searching for the disintegrous thing to get you the win, the righteous thing will get you the win, and it'll be a lasting win. If in fact the win was to be had. This is the part. This is what I wanted to come forth with you today and offer. I'm always looking to be useful. There are many things that divide us. And I believe that when we hold ourselves accountable to the role we all play in the divide, we then can bridge the gap. It's easy to create correspondence or communications to pinpoint that there is a divide and talk about the divide and how the divide happened. But it's another thing to use your experiences in life and your knowledge and the fact that you know that there is a divide to come up with ideas as to how to bridge the gap. And then not leaving it there, But by going about life and utilizing your time in this life to be that one person, each one of us doing things needed to improve upon our own selves and the role we play in creating such a divide amongst one another. That's where it is. Holding ourselves accountable to the divide and the role we play in the divide, and doing something to improve upon our experience, our output as it relates to the divide. That's my word for you today. And that's what I look to do every time I come forward. It's easy, and I have to check myself because it is easy to come forward, especially when you face problems like I faced. Like literally, it would be easy for me just to bridge, to come forward and communicate that there's a divide and how the divide started and what it looks like and the different ways that the divide presents itself and how terrible the divide is. It would be easy to do that. That would be a vent. But to create ways in gifting people with nuggets of information that they can use to bridge the divide. Always looking to be useful. You're loved more than you'll ever know. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourself.